Who do you think is worth captaining? Who do you think is worth the 1.5 times the salary? Because you got the usual suspects there at top, Jeff, Tatum and Curry, and then there's a big gap there between those two and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, first of all, this should be the game that Draymond Green gets ejected. He should have been ejected last game. I know we saw that clip of him pretty much swinging at Tatum's head, going for the rebound. So who knows? We'll see about that. But as for a captain, obviously you have the big three of Curry, Tatum, and Brown. And I like choosing the cheapest one at captain tonight in Jaylen at 14.7K. He's actually outplayed Tatum by a significant margin, in my opinion, throughout the first 3 games of this series. He's racked up 45 plus DK fantasy points in 2 of the 3 finals games, and he's taken advantage of this opportunity to handle a bulk of the scoring load with Tatum really struggling to shoot and just focusing on deferring. So Jaylen, he was really amped up by the crowd. He and Marcus Smart were the 2 players who fed off that energy in game 3 the most. I don't see any way he doesn't come out firing again tonight.
I mean, hell, should his numbers hold steady here, he's the front runner for Finals MVP right now. We talked about it on the show yesterday, Jeff, and then Maddie, we talked about that as well. How he's in the MVP conversation on the slate last night. Who's worth getting the captain's nod in your opinion?
Yeah, this is hard because I want to say Jason Tatum. I think Brown's a good choice, but these players are expensive enough, and this slate is also lacking cheap players to the point where it just becomes hard to fit if you use expensive options. So I kind of want to go back to Robert Williams at 6,200 and just play him in the captain spot. And then that allows you the salary flexibility to play some more expensive guys. Like, if Williams is healthy, he's a fantasy monster, at least at times, with 4 blocks and 3 steals last game. He took a bunch of Al Horford's minutes down the stretch, which I think no one would have expected coming into this series, where Horford had some issues in drop coverage, falling too far back off of Steph Curry and not having the athleticism to recover there. It's not really the thing that Horford can excel at. Robert Williams is much more athletic. Maybe the knee is a concern, and this is why I say this with some hesitation, but if Williams is healthy, he's going to have to play big minutes in this series and probably continue to take some away from Horford because he's so much better for at least this scheme in terms of containing Steph. Like, he works better as the center than Horford does. From a defensive standpoint, I think this kind of will depend on if the Celtics have a lead or not. But I think if they're up, you see a lot more Robert Williams. Maybe if they get down, they don't need him as much. But as someone who does expect the Celtics to play well tonight, I do think Robert Williams continues to see pretty big minutes. They've got a few extra days off after this game. Yep. So I think they do try to push him and really do everything they can to win this one, because the Celtics know the narratives, right? Like, they don't want to see the Warriors come back off this loss and even up the series. And a big part of that is going to be Robert Williams.